Right now, I have to stop saying.
Well, how about that? 2 games in a row, overtime. And tonight, it's like a blast from the past. Benn and Seguin lead the Dallas Stars to a playoff victory. But it's not 2016. It's 2025. And the old guys getting it done tonight. Stars win. Let's talk about it right now on the DLLS Stars Post Game show.
Get it ready, boys.
This is the DLLS Stars Post Game show. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage is brought to you by Bud Light. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy responsibly, and by Happiest Hour. Check out Happiest Hour for the best spot to watch the NHL playoffs. Alongside Craig Ludwig and John Andersen, I'm Owen Newkirk. Make sure you smash that like button. That's the big thumbs up right below the video here on YouTube. If you're listening to us on our podcast later, you don't have to do it then because it's already too late. We'll be joined by Sam Nestler from Denver a little bit later. He's currently doing post-game media availability. But how about that? For the second straight game, the Dallas Stars get it done in overtime. They lead for 0 seconds in this one, tie it in the third period, win it in OT after a massive penalty kill to start. They sort of carry over in OT. And it's the old guys, Benn and Seguin, showing out.
Be called Ben again?
Yeah, that was
Ben
a
again.
razorism.
Yep. Ben again.
And here they are, scoring the goals that Dallas needs to make this a 2-1 series lead. Luds, I think, as happy as we all were after the Blackwell goal the other night in Game 2, I think if they went back to Colorado and Landeskog makes his debut and the place is going crazy and the Avs found a way to win this one, we'd go, all right, we'll just win Game 4 and we're in good shape. Now you're really feeling good.
Yeah, I don't know if it'd be that easy to just say we're just going to win Game 4. But
no.
Yeah, I think you have to look at all the things that they had to overcome and all the things that you mentioned. And again, don't ever take for granted the altitude and all that kind of stuff. And really, they were probably the better team most of the night. You know, and it took them over 60 minutes to win the hockey game. But what they did, they played a smart game. They didn't play one of these up-tempo offensive, let's tic-tac-toe things around. It was more of a territorial game, and they bought their time, and they just kind of waded into the game and said, we'll do this, and we'll wear this team down. We'll keep the hands of the fans underneath their butts and not give them a lot to cheer about. So I think it was what you'd call a great road game, great road win. No panic, and we'll get it done.
When you look back at the pregame show conversation, one of the things I brought up to you was Game 2's win was Dallas's first victory. I'm laughing in sort of a sardonic kind of way. 2.5 weeks. Now they have wins in back-to-back games. I know that the cliche is momentum does not carry over from game to game in the playoffs. But you'd have to think that the roster's feeling pretty good after the last 2 games.
Oh, for sure. I mean, put one on top of the other. I think this is, and take the overtime out of it, this is the best 60-minute game, I think, or the most complete 60-minute game they've played in 3 weeks. And so it's been little steps, little things, and credit to the coaches, first off. They made a couple adjustments, but credit to the players. And you know, I look at a couple of guys in tonight's game, and guys you probably wouldn't think about it. You look at Lian, Bichsel, and Petrovic. They played 11 minutes and 13 minutes, right? But they were good. They had those minutes. They did what they were supposed to do. One is a rookie. One's probably not gotten the shot that he's wanted to, you know, over his career. But now he steps up, same way I thought he did the last time he got an opportunity in the playoffs. So they played 11 minutes and 13 minutes apiece, I should say. Esa Lindell played 8 minutes and 50 seconds or something like that on the penalty kill.
Did he go off the ice on that 4-minute double minor?
Perspective. No, and he shouldn't go off the ice. I mean, he's a smart player, and when you watch him play, especially on the penalty kill, he's in control. He doesn't go where he's going to get himself in trouble. He knows when to exert a little bit more energy. He knows when to jump on things, and he knows when just to lean back. And I'll be in the right areas of the ice and, look at the one that hit him in the glove tonight.
I gotta stop down the show for a minute. John, we've got a massive super chat tonight. I love Misty, 1985. We do super chats in the third segment into the fourth, but for a Seguin and Ludwig, 9103, we do that immediately. Wow, what a great win to lead the series. Of course, I missed most of it because I was in Frisco for U18s where I saw Sweden versus Switzerland and USA versus Czechia. Saw goals from Blake Fiddler and Will Horkoff. So that's Vern and Sean's kids. And I got to say hi to Sean for the first time. How about that? Goals from Blake and from Will Horkoff.
We could maybe get Sam an upgrade on his flight back or something like that. Get him in a seat or...
No. It's just in the nicer of the cargo areas of the plane.
Is that where it should be?
The one where it has heat.
Yeah.
Right. So. The first one, what did we do? We gave him a Snickers bar.
I love Misty, though. Thank you very much.
Don't need extra leg room. We know that.
Yeah. I think we put him in a suitcase with some water and a Snickers bar and an extra blanket to stay warm.
Why don't we just get him a rental car and have him drive home?
So I Love Misty got to meet Sean Shapiro, which is great. You're like, woo, what did he do? Sean was supposed to be on our post-game show tonight, but he got stuck up there. So I should never have told our GM, Ben, that I'll see my text messages more than my Slack messages during a post-game show, because now he's been just blowing me up tonight. But thank you, boss. I appreciate it. Speaking of making the boss happy, don't forget, it is the DLS Diehard $36 limited time introductory offer. And what a time for it. It is for the NFL draft. We started it last week. It goes through this week. And it's a phenomenal time to save money and become a diehard. We've had a huge, I believe yesterday we had 100 people sign up just yesterday for DLS Diehard, which is a great number. We are currently ahead of DNVR during this offer for more diehard signups than our DNVR colleagues who do the Avalanche, the Nuggets, the Rockies, Broncos, that kind of thing. We would love to win that, just like the Stars are winning on the series 2-1. So if you haven't signed up already, use the QR code. Let's do it. Let's get it done. And let's keep moving along. So let's, obviously we had to stop down for that because thank you to I Love Misty for a very generous super chat. Takeaways from this one in a way that you kind of called it. This is another segment we call Luds. What I tell you with Luds. They went with the Landeskog to start the game. You said you'd rather have him have a pop later, but starting games are important. It's why Pete started Mikko Rantanen, right, with Hintz and Granlund. Was basically to have Rantanen and Landeskog lined up with each other in the opening draw. And I thought Landeskog was fine tonight. It was a really cool story for him. It's the playoffs, so you don't cheer for the Avs, but look, he's one of the good guys in the sport. He's been on a really hardship kind of thing. But now that card has been played, Lutz. Mm-hmm. They lost. Now what for the Avalanche?
Well, I mean, I think that you expect a better response. I mean, I don't know if that team, all of their pieces, even though, I've talked about Nichushkin a couple different times. Yeah, he got a goal that was kind of giving him an opportunity on a platter on a 4-on-4, but I don't know if he's been, at the level that they would want him to be. Natchez isn't at that level, which is all good news for the Stars. Nathan McKinnon had 9-13. I think he had 9 shots and 13-14 attempts. So he's going to do his thing. I don't know if Cale Makar has been, as dominant as we've seen him be, but that's credit to the Stars. I mean, they're doing some of the right things, and they're keeping him in areas of the ice, and more importantly, keeping out of areas of the ice where they can do some damage. So, and again, the other guy you have to feel really good for, all of them. And, you're going to talk about Tyler and things, but it's Mason Marchment. I mean, that, and again, they have to go to bat. They got to kill that penalty off, that 4-minute one. It goes into OT. They do that, and then who out muscles, Tays on that, and ultimately sets up Tyler. But you feel good for him. Probably not his wallet, because he needs to go out and buy a dinner for at least the penalty killers, for allowing that, because that's always a tough place to be, at any time during the year, especially in the playoffs, and when you're trying to get a lead in a round, and it's you put your team down for 3.5. Again, it's nothing intentional. He's battling and the stick gets loose, and he catches somebody in the face. So,
not to mention a follow up, I said some of the players the Stars didn't have a point through the first 2 games of the series got points tonight. Mikko Rantanen assist on the overtime winning goal. You had Mikael Granlund get assist on the power play goal, and of course the guys that didn't have points but I thought played really well: Esa Lindell, Lian Bichsel, Petrovic, and Lyubushkin almost had the winning goal tonight. He looked great. Do you think Ilya Lyubushkin has raised his level in the playoffs? Because I thought game 2, he was a lot of people weren't talking about it, but he ate some big minutes. I thought he was really solid. And again, tonight, doing what he needs to do.
Yeah, I thought he was just a steady guy. I think he comes to this team as a steady defenseman, and I thought for the most of the year that he was here, he was fine. And he's had some poor luck, especially on penalty killing. I seem to remember 3 or 4 of them that have gone in off of him, off of his leg, off his stick, and it's really it's odd of trying to keep pucks out of the areas that you're supposed to keep them out. Sometimes you just run into that patch of luck. But no, I think he's a veteran guy that understands who he is, what he brings to the club, and not where he's supposed to be good. So, and I thought CC was good again tonight. I mean, anytime you can go into one of these kind of games where you're at, and everything that's on the line, and you come out of a game and you don't see any big mistakes out there. Well, there was one; it led to a goal, but that was just a team thing. But for the most part, this was a really good game played by the Dallas Stars, a real good road game.
The fact that they played such a good first period when they knew that was going to be a hostile crowd, I thought, and they weren't happy with how they played their first period the other night. The fact that they were able to do that and really dictate. I mean, you look at the end of the night, it was 1-0 Avalanche after the first. But all the metrics, all the eye tests, everything said Dallas was the better team in that first period.
It seemed to me like Colorado, in the first 5 to 7 minutes of the game, they were more interested in finishing hits, which is good. I mean, that's what you kind of do. But it was more, that seemed to be more important than to get on top of their game and to take the puck to the net and get some opportunities, because Dallas, they were out shooting them 5-1, 5-2 or something like that at one point, and but Colorado probably out hit them 2 or 3-1 at that time. So it seemed like that was the way that they wanted to get momentum. And again, credit to Dallas, they just kind of pushed through the physicality that was early and got pucks to the net, and that was. And again, anytime that you can continue to get those kind of pucks to the net, you're spending more time in that end than you are on your own. But that being said, we haven't even mentioned Jake's name. Jake was good.
Well, we have to mention Jake's name.
Jake was good.
We have to talk about, especially, I thought Dallas was really good. We're going to go through the periods and do our whole recap, but I thought Dallas was a better team in the first, didn't have the score to show for it. I thought Colorado really raised their game in the second. And then in the third, I thought Dallas, they had the better chances. Colorado had more, but they didn't get interior. And as you said, Jake was pretty good. And then that penalty kill in overtime, Jake had to be really strong. But that second period, to me, Luds, I had Colorado down for 4 high danger chances, and they did not score on Jake Oettinger. That's a big deal.
Yeah, they were some big saves made by him. I thought he just was in control tonight, and I think we've seen in the last couple of games, or maybe that goal that you're like, I think he should have had that one. The goal that did go in, that was a nice move by Nichushkin. I mean, he just finds that little gap between Jake's foot and the post. But for the most part, Jake was clean. I mean, he made things look easy again. I mean, there wasn't a lot of scrambling around. He was, in his own way, and it was almost like he wasn't going to let anything pass him after that goal.
We're going to break it down goal by goal, period by period, and then I see your super chats just flowing in right now. We're going to have a fun segment with that. Plus, we'll talk with Sam out in Denver at Ball Arena. We'll get to that a little bit later. All of that coming up as the Stars win in overtime here on the DLS Stars Post Game show presented by Bud Light and Happiest Hour.
We've got some big and little news to share. All City, including us here at DLLS, is teaming up with Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America for an exciting 3-year partnership. This isn't just about sports, it's about community. Together, we're combining Big Brothers, Big Sisters' incredible youth mentoring programs with the passion and power of All City's local sports coverage to create something truly meaningful. The partnership kicks off this week during our NFL draft coverage, but it doesn't stop there. We'll be working year-round to support Big Brothers, Big Sisters through fundraising, content, events, and even opportunities for our team and maybe some of you to get directly involved. We're excited to support youth mentorship that really makes a difference. You can learn more and see how to get involved at bbs.org/allcity.
Let's talk about one of the most important things out there, which is going to games. That's why we're here. Sports, it's fun. It's even more fun in person or hanging out with us here at DLS. We make it more fun to be a fan, right, of Dallas sports. Well, let's talk about Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Sporting events, concert tickets, theater, stand-up comedy, all available on Game Time. You either go to their website, gametime.co, or download their app. It's super easy. One of my favorite features of the app is the all-in pricing. You can do it on the website too. You toggle this feature, you see what the cost is of everything. No surprise fees at checkouts. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code DLLS for $20 off the first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code DLLS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Luds, what time is it?
It's game time.
All right. Let's go through this one a little bit. And then, yes, super chats. And keep bringing them in. We'll do them all. I think we did close to an hour and a half after game 2, Luds, because the super chats just wouldn't stop. So
76 minutes.
It was well, no, that's more than that. It was an hour and 27 minutes.
I must have been sleeping for
87. Yeah, you think you fell asleep for about 11 minutes in there somewhere.
For a while.
Let's go back to that first period because I say this I repeat this. They were really good in the first. They gave up the goal and they were down 1. We'll talk about it in a minute. But they came out, Hintz, Granlund, Bichsel, Ceci, all with scoring chances. Not high danger ones, but they were getting pucks on net. They were skating, and they were not giving Colorado a lot. What did you like from what Dallas was doing in the opening 20?
They weren't trying to make an extra pass. It was that direct play. It was getting interior, get the puck up the net. And when everybody's on that page, you end up following it up because you know you're not stopping your feet. We have an idea how we want to create momentum, and it's going to start in their zone, and it's exactly what they did.
The goal came on a kind of a goofy scenario because Ryan Lindgren gets called for cross-checking, and it was definitely cross-checking as he just hammered Mason Marchment behind the net. And then Cale Makar got in a couple more, and they didn't call any extras. Now, there was a retaliatory cross-check in there as well. They kind of let a couple go. Stars get a power play. Mikko Rantanen gets called for tripping 17 seconds into that power play. Did you like that call?
Yeah, when you get to look at things in slow-mo and super slow-mo, you're like, I don't know about that. So, yeah, but again, I think that all the referees in all the series, they're not trying to call any penalty. They would love for the players on both teams to be able to settle it, but they do know. They go back and don't think that they don't look at things when they get in between periods. So I think they always find a way somehow to get things to be a little bit closer.
Because of that, such early on the power play penalty, 4-on-4 for nearly 2 minutes. And during the 4-on-4, Val Nichushkin scored his first goal of the series, and he does so wide open in front of the net. But let's break it down. How did it happen? Why was he so wide open going straight in on Jake's net?
Well, we've got looks here, and this is one of those moving picks, but you can see this is a man-on-man system, and a lot of teams will do this 4-on-4. They don't always do it 5-on-5, but the thing for me with man-on-man is you have to see everything else that's going around you, even though you've got your guy. But there's times when they just look at their player that they're with and they don't see anything else. They don't watch anybody fall down. They don't see a pick coming. So here was the first part where it gets set up. And then and you keep an eye on Lyubushkin there. And go ahead, John. And now here comes the pick. But when you see where Lyubushkin was in that first one, now he's kind of on the top in the middle of the screen there. He turns his back completely. And not only does he
looking the other way,
and
right?
not only him, but it's Steve. Yeah, just say Steve.
There you go.
I played with Steve. Anyway, that goes back in
unrelated.
Time. Allen Americans he was with.
Yeah.
Anyway, Matt Duchene. I don't know, because if you look at the jerseys, there's 4 dark jerseys up here. I'm not sure where Matt's going. He's going someplace to cover somebody else. I don't know, but again, Thomas Harley, in my opinion, too, probably needs to see the pick coming. Doesn't happen. Again, it works, and then it's Val that comes right down the middle of the ice, and it's like, again, it's a smart play by Nelson. I mean, you run the pick and you kind of roll off it, but then your goalie's on an island right now. Nichushkin, who's been quiet, he comes in and he makes a really nice move. But again, for me, and you can see Matt Duchene here kind of pointing. He's kind of pointing at the referees saying, hey, that's a pick. Why aren't you calling that? But again, I'm like, why are we where we are? And again, look on the top, in the middle of the top, that's Lyubushkin looking over the other direction.
He's got his guy.
He has no idea it's happening. That's the whole thing. The man-on-man is like, I got my guy. And it's kind of a get-out-of-jail-free card, as I said before. Like, I got my guy. I'm doing what I'm supposed to. So anyway, this was the only breakdown, though, all night long. And this is the only one that Jake really couldn't recover. But I give credit to Nichushkin, too, because he finds the width of a puck when he puts it in the net, patience, and Jake just couldn't get his foot to the post, and Val, sticks out in the net. So that's where they get the early lead. But even after that, their game stayed where they wanted their game to stay as far as the Dallas Stars go.
Stars did not score in the first period, but Mikko Rantanen had a chance at the right post where he won a puck down low. He went straight to the net, and he tried to elevate it on Blackwood. Blackwood made a pretty good save out of it. But, Luds, I loved what I saw on that play from Rantanen, because that's the type of power move with his size and his skill, his hands, that you want to see him do more of.
Yeah, we talked about that in the pregame show. I think coming into this so far, he's been like a setup guy, and he wants to set people up. And I think that, and that's fine because he's really good at it. But if you get more of that direct play and he takes pucks to the net, now all of a sudden, especially for a team that he played 10 years with, they're like, wait a second, he doesn't normally do this. So now all of a sudden you have to start playing him, thinking and knowing and kind of looking ahead of what happened on his last 3 puck touches. He takes it to the net. So now you start to come to him because you don't want him taking the net anymore, and that's when he finds people off to the side. So he has to kind of add that element to his game that I think that will open up some more passing lanes for him.
Going to the second period, and this is where the chances were mostly, as far as high danger and quantity overall. Colorado slight edge. I had 11-8 in chances in that period. By the way, first period, shots were 13-5 Dallas. That's a good start, especially on the road. 5 shots on goal for Colorado. That's really, really good.
And that's the point. They weren't passing the puck to each other.
No.
They weren't trying to go, from east-west. They were doing more south, and it created momentum for them.
In the second, Sam Girard had a wraparound to the post. It kicked free. I don't even know if it hit Oettinger's pad or not, or just went wide, but it fell to the left side of the crease for Brock Nelson. And Jake Oettinger came up with an absolutely massive save diving across to his right.
It's a guy that Nelson, when he came to the Avs, he was scoring some goals. And I think right now he's having a hard time, which is perfect for anybody that's playing against the Avs. And he seems to be a little frustrated with himself.
Well, then Logan O'Connor got on a breakaway. And I said to you, he was behind the play. And if the Stars didn't turn the puck over, he's in a bad spot. But he got maybe a little fortunate. His teammate creates a turnover at the defensive blue line for Colorado. Stars trying to enter the zone. And they play it up the ice, and off he goes on a breakaway. And at first I thought maybe he missed it, but no, Jake got a piece.
Yeah, and besides McKinnon, he's been their hottest guy.
He's been really good.
He's been really good. And, we got a chance to talk to AJ about him yesterday from Denver, and he said he's one of them kind of guys when the playoffs roll around. That's when he steps his game up. So fortunate again for Jake making a big save at a big time.
Then Charlie Coyle Landeskog set him up in the slot. This is later in the period. He hit the right post. That was a good look. Again, I think Jake probably had his angle covered. He'll say that, of course, as it hit the, I think
that's all I gave him.
Outside of the post or whatever. But then this sequence, Luds, McKinnon and Granlund. McKinnon on the rush gets inside the right circle. Jake blockers it away. They go quickly the other way. Granlund gets a partial breakaway. Has, I think, Mackenzie Blackwood beat and just rings it squarely off the left post.
Yeah, again, I think both goaltenders seem to be dialed in through that game. And, I mean, that's probably one time you're wishing that was Rupe that was going down there on that breakaway versus Granlund. Not that Granlund couldn't do it, but I'd like to see Rupe get on the board.
Now, the Stars were outshot. It was 8-5 in the second period, but that's not that much. But 4 of those 8 shots, now one of them was off the post, but high danger. So they had some pretty high quality chances in that second period.
And but there's going to come moments in the game and stretches. You just got to find a way to survive it.
You have to weather those storms, don't you? Well, you go to the third period, they need a goal. You had this sort of premonition. You had the sense that something was coming.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
because even 1-0 up, you said you thought that Colorado was going to start to feel some pressure because they didn't have a bigger lead.
Yeah, and I think that they're getting frustrated and they're building in front of their fans. They want, and again, you can kind of feel it as the game goes along, and you can see guys. What for me, what stands out is when you have players that are trying to do a little extra, and in areas that they probably don't have to or don't need to, and they try to get a little bit closer. Like I said, getting pucks to the net, and it's like they're trying to do what they can to help the team. And this goal. I love the little powwow that happened before it, and I want you to look who's in the center of it, and that's Jamie. Jamie was leading the powwow, and he was, whatever he was saying, which I believe I know what he was saying, is we're going to get the puck and we're getting it to the net, and we're not going to, because they have had a couple power plays tonight that were more perimeter, and it was bouncing around, and then they'd get knocked down. It goes the other rink, and when you got Thomas Harley, I believe he's telling Harley, you get a lane, you take it, and he has. And that's exactly what happened. They get there, they get on the faceoff, and you just look at where everything's set up. Harley is one of the best as we've seen that can find these little lanes, and he sees the stick. And again, look at what's set up in front of the net. Look at the goaltender. Look at the direction he has to look. And this is just a shot pass. Harley's not trying to get it on net, and it's just perfect. And because of the screen, and because you have a goaltender that can't see anything, it goes in the net. And I immediately went back to before they even took the face-off and listening and having that group get together before they took it, and the captain took charge in that face-off right there. And I'm not saying that had a lot to do with the thing, but I like at that moment he had everybody's attention that was going out there. And again, credit to Marchment, and again, he's that big body, he gets in front, and he forces Blackwood to have to look around him, and he never sees this play.
So it's 1-1, Jamie Benn's goal. Everybody was making jokes about he finally scored his 400th goal, even though it doesn't actually count as his.
We'll count it.
We'll count it. I mean, it's total goals, regular season and playoffs. He's past that. But for regular season, you have to wait till next year. Then they take a penalty, and boy, Dallas's penalty kill. They actually created a scoring chance for Oscar Beck on a 3-on-2. He just misses wide. I thought Steele made a great saucer pass to get it to Beck. It's on his backhand. And Luds, when you're trying to redirect a puck and elevate it on your backhand as opposed to your forehand, that's very tricky.
Yeah, and those instances there, with those two kind of guys, sometimes the POP, the puck off pad.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you're taking that shot.
As opposed to the sauce.
Yeah, and because you're kind of hoping he had to elevate it enough to get it up over the top. But you take a shot, you're going to try to, in that instance, you're going to try to put it off the goaltender's, like you're shooting far side. You want to go off the left pad. That way the rebound comes out to the other side where Beck is. And at least you're getting a shot on net if it squeaks through. And if not, maybe you get another opportunity.
Ilya Lyubushkin had a great backhander, low left circle. In regulation, Blackwood made the save. I was really hoping for Lyubushkin to win it. Then
we were hoping for anybody.
That's fair enough. Then they get the penalty, and it's a 4-minute double minor on Marchment for high sticking. Drew blood on Nelson. They get through the 39 seconds in regulation. Then there's the OT intermission. Then they come out, and Colin Blackwell almost did it again. 2-on-1 shorthanded break. He's wide open. Blackwood makes a really good save.
I don't think he was disappointed. He kind of got up with a smile on his face going, dude, I ain't doing this 2 times.
Imagine if he did it again. The accolades would have been unbelievable. Power play continues. McKinnon, Drouin, McKinnon again. This is the end of the power play. McKinnon gets a one-timer. Power play actually expires as Jake makes that save. It pops to the top of the crease, actually low slot, so a couple feet above the crease, to Arturi Lehkonen, and Esa Lindell saves the game with his glove.
And again, he's just such a smart player, and he knows where to be. And he's in the middle of the ice. He's in front of the goaltender. He's in that area. That's where the dangerous area is at that time. You don't ever see him get out of position when he's killing. Then there was a couple other plays that he broke up. There was one that went across the crease, and he knows where he is, and he just turns and he faces Jake, gets his stick in a lane. But on this particular one that looked like it was an empty netter, he gets his just a little piece of it. I think it's his left finger, index finger on it, and just enough to have it just go just past the post.
Well, that kept it alive because the next scoring chance ended the game, and the official time was 5 minutes, 31 seconds of overtime. Tyler Seguin from Mason Marchment and Mikko Rantanen. Luds, Rantanen wins a battle in the Stars zone, high up near the blue line, and then Tyler Seguin's not even on the ice yet.
Yeah, Rantanen's just trying to get the puck in deep, too. I mean, he's at center line trying to get off the ice, basically.
Finds Marchment, and then he just goes to the bench.
He does, but he just chips it up the wall. He puts it up the wall, and then Marchment picks up the puck. And at that moment, he goes off the ice. Segi jumps on the ice. And we've seen that happen the other night. And I think it was a Drury goal. Drury came off the bench. You kind of lose coverage. It's a guy that's coming off the bench, and I think it was Hintz. He skated right by him. He probably just a little bit ahead of him. Doesn't even realize that he's out, on the ice. So anyway, he steps off. Segi jumps onto the ice. He comes in all alone. But again, it's Mason Marchment. He gets down to the net. He uses his big body. He shields off Taze, who's a great defenseman. And then he gets his head up, takes his time, and he makes a nice little pass to Tyler. And I don't know, Tyler, one of the things that Sagan's always been able to do, he gets in tight and he can elevate it.
And he took it off the pass was in his feet.
Yeah, hit
it one motion.
Things slow down for those kind of players.
To do that at that speed, because he's crashing hard to the net. Marchment throws it into his feet. Now again, Marchment's holding off a defender. Yeah. He's off balance. It's great just to get it in the vicinity.
Yep.
But the ability to kick that to his stick and then snap it up like that.
I think
that's elite.
I think it's like the race car drivers. They talk about how things slow down. When accidents are coming, everything slows down. I mean, Tyler gets to that point and he's coming in, and Tyler's not moving at the same rate as he was when he was 24 years old. But regardless,
he's had a few surgeries.
Yeah, he just had a couple surgeries, so maybe that helped a little bit. And he's able to get his head up, kick it up a little bit, and get his head up and pick that spot.
Benn, Seguin, goals. Stars win in overtime.
Benn
again. Benn again. 2-1 in the series. Dallas is in great shape. They play Game 4 on Saturday night. We have a ton of Super Chats to get to. We'll do that next here on the DLS Stars Post Game Show.
What's up, Stars fans? I know what's up. Enjoying the game was easy, so don't overthink it. What to wear? Just put on that lucky jersey again in a couple nights. Not sure what to serve your friends? That's even easier. Pick up some pizza and grab some Bud Light and fill up the fridge. See, it's that easy. Just like Bud Light, which is always brewed with 4 simple ingredients for a clean, crisp taste. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. But remember, do it responsibly. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Boy, I don't know about you, but you talk about pizza. It sounds pretty good right now.
Yeah, it talks about Bud Light right now.
Bud Light,
too.
Even better, right? Well, let's talk about Empire today. Just like your favorite team needs a home ice advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage, and Empire Today can help you get it. Empire Today has flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. We've all been to those big box stores. You wander endless aisles, then somehow you're hauling all these materials home. You're looking for an installer and coordinating everything yourself. Those big box stores might have a flooring department, but the person helping you with flooring may have been doing sinks yesterday and could be stocking light bulbs tomorrow. Well, don't be overwhelmed. Use Empire Today. Why? Because Empire Today lives and breathes flooring, and they will be with you every step of the way. It's a whole different ball game. The flooring experts bring the showroom right to your home, picking the right flooring and the right colors for your space. See how it looks with your furniture in your house. Talk about those virtual views, which are just beautiful and help you really see it, plus precise measurements taken. You have all your questions answered, no surprises. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DLS listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code DLLS. Yes, you heard right. A $350 discount with code DLLS. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/DLLS for full details. All right. Don't forget to smash that like button. That's that big thumbs up below the video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We'll talk about being a diehard in a little bit as the DLS Stars podcast playoff post-game show presented by Bud Light and Happiest Hour continues. A 2-1 Stars overtime win. And coincidentally, they now have a 2-1 series lead. Luds, they've won 4 straight playoff games at Ball Arena. That's quite remarkable.
Not easy to do.
No. Now, they actually have won more road games against the Avalanche in consecutive order, but some of those count in the bubble, and those are sort of quasi-road games because Colorado had last change, but there weren't any fans in the building. So actually in Denver, their last 4 playoff games, 3 last year, 1 this year, it's pretty good.
Yeah, the other thing that we don't talk about is they got home ice back. Now
That's a big one.
Regardless how the game goes, you get, next one, obviously we know how we hope it goes. But even if you come back to Dallas tied 2-2, you got 2 of the 3 remaining games left, and you got Game 7 at home. So that's always nice. So right now, enjoy this tonight. Enjoy your day off, and you get another day in between, and get ready to pour everything in it again because, again, it's just another big game, and you'd prefer to be up by a couple of games and coming back.
And look, this is the old adage, and we'll get to your super chats here in just a second. But it's the old,
don't be satisfied.
You win a game, you feel like you'll never lose again in the playoffs. You lose a playoff game, you feel like you're never going to. Literally, we were an overtime shot the other night away from the Stars going down 0-2, and people were saying if they lose game 2, that's probably the series. I understand the sentiments. I also disagree because Dallas came back from an 0-2 hole after losing both home games against Vegas to win in 7. But I get it. You're not feeling good. It would have been 7 in a row in the regular season plus 2 in the playoffs. Not a good vibe. But winning 2 in a row, Luds, does not win you a series.
No, unfortunately.
It would be nice if we just
I think you got to win 4.
We're not there yet. All right. We have super chats all over the place. Let's get going.
Bing bang.
Michael Moore with a DeSmith 99 Cup here. Playoff otter is a real thing.
So far, so good. We'll just leave it at that. Just let him keep on doing his thing.
Bing bang.
Tommy Carlson with a Brendan Smith and a year after the Cup. $1.91, but the $2 so I can type Bing effing bong.
You can say that now.
No, we cannot.
Oh, we can't?
No, now we can't.
Good thing I was trying to get you to say it.
Okay. You have to go harder than that. But yes, they're trying to do a DeSmith Seguin because, Tommy, you're very appreciated. Although I Love Misty did the Seguin super chat, the $91. That's a pretty hefty super chat. That's why we did that earlier. All right.
Bing bang.
T Farmer with a Heiskanen 99. Big game Jake. McKinnon who? Sealing home ice, you thought? Think again, snowballs. This is Texas hockey in the playoffs. It's right. Big game Jake was right. He was fantastic.
He was.
Yep. Bing bang.
Stars 25 Cup year with a Heiskanen and 99. Stars haven't lost since the Pope passed. Oh, dear. I think not. A coincidence? I think not. I have evidence he was a diehard Stars fan. Check the profile photo. Is that the Pope in a Stars jersey? I can't see. It's really small.
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
Is that the idea? Is that Pope, the late Pope Francis in a Dallas Stars victory green sweater?
Going to leave that one alone.
Yeah, okay.
Bing bang.
Yep. Matthew Hill with a Brendan Smith and a year after the Cup. Come on, Miro. See, Luds, this is the perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Because they won, which means you do not have to pressure Miro or feel the pressure to play him on Saturday. But here's the thing. I don't know if they'll practice tomorrow. I'm going to guess they'll have a day off tomorrow or an optional. I'll bet you they'll practice on Friday.
Well, I think a couple guys. I think some guys will go skating. I think Miro could be one of them.
Right, but you got 2 days.
Yeah.
Miro might get an actual practice. Like a full. I mean, again, playoff practice, but practice more than a morning skate. I don't think the Stars are. I still think Game 5 is more likely.
They don't want to have to use Miro this round if they don't have to.
Do you think it as if? So you're thinking no for Saturday?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Well, he hasn't done any practices yet. He hasn't gone through a practice. This whole, he was out there on the power play. Well, nobody's going to run into anybody out there, and we saw it. He's going, three. Not I wouldn't even know if he's going 3/4 speed. But the good news is he's on the ice, and so I think it's very similar to the Landeskog deal. They didn't want to put him in. They would rather have him feel better and better and better. Although it's been almost 3 years. So, but I think for Miro, if you could get him and continue to do what you're supposed to do,
right,
and maybe not have to use him for the second round, then give him another 2 weeks or week and a half. That's ideal.
So that's the interesting thing. If he doesn't play on Saturday, and the Stars win, then you're thinking, just keep him off the ice.
Yeah, well, I think that
but
all
if they
just
lose
depends.
and it's 2-2 going back to Dallas.
But again, it's more important to know that he's ready to go.
So
regardless,
here's the thing:
you're not. You have to think about Miro's long term, right? Too. You got to think of that too. So this is important, obviously. But if if Miro's at 70%, I don't know if you play him. I don't. I think that you want to make sure that he's got to be right in his head.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And sometimes you have to protect the player from themselves. So it'll be a decision. It'll be a decision between the trainers and coaches, obviously, and doctors and everybody to clear it up. And as long as Miro's fine with himself, then we'll see where it goes. All
right, let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
Adam Jennings with a Benn and Seguin. Benn to Seguin to tie the game, to tie Game 2. Benn ties Game 3 with Seguin winning. Love to see their games elevate right now.
Yep, I think that there were people that, talked about they're at the end of the road, and maybe if they win a cup, maybe they will be. But for right now, they're the same guys, and the importance of those guys are mainly their voices and the way that they, gather the group together at the tough times. And when you see both of those guys get in on it, kind of reinforces their leadership.
Bing bong.
It's fun to see those guys do well in their what we would call advanced years. Here's a line I saw earlier tonight on Twitter. It's big dad energy. Both guys are now fathers. Tyler had his daughter a couple months ago when he was still injured. Jamie just announced, and we found this out, Luds, before we get to the next super chat. You knew, you told us, but we didn't have we didn't think that it was.
You muzzled me.
Yes. Well, at first you didn't want to say anything because it was unconfirmed from a good source. You didn't want to burn your source. And then we were recording a mini pod, and you're like, "Well, I guess
it was a great source."
Okay. And then you were like, then you threw out there. I said, "Well, that's not really out there yet." You go, "Well, I guess I'm putting it out there." And then
you said to me, "Are you putting it out there?" I said,
"I guess I am."
I guess I did.
And then we decided it was better to cut that little snippet because I had a hunch that the family, Jamie and his wife, and were playing because Jamie was out for 2 games with a quote unquote lower body injury. It was the birth of his son.
It was her lower body.
Yes, right.
Her midsection body.
And so with that, it wasn't the injury. I mean, Jamie's active. He was 370 something games in a row he'd played, and I mean, obviously, a very important thing. But
377, something like that.
Something like that. It sounds right. I had a feeling that they were planning some sort of like everybody around the team sort of knew, but nobody was saying anything publicly. So I had sort of a hunch that they were planning on a big reveal. And so we did indeed, just the other day, see them put out a big Instagram video with clips in the hospital and the baby and all that. So that was really cool. Congratulations to them. So big dad energy. The 2 dads were the goal scorers tonight. That was a long way to say that.
Yep. Was it ever?
Well, you do know, I mean, Luds, we are here for the full hour. So, or plus.
Now we're going to be here for longer.
That's okay.
I hit it already, and then you talked for 5 minutes. So
5 minutes.
This already got the big bong.
To quote Jason Bateman, John, we've got you for the full day, right?
We do, but I'm already clenching cheek, and we're only 45 minutes in right now.
Cheek. We got a Shaq incident over here. He's gonna have to.
I'm gonna do the Paul Pierce. I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna run to
But
the
now I have
Porta
to wait
John.
because we're too close to the break, and then Sam's gonna join, and it's gonna be a whole thing.
Oh, that poor guy. All right, Stars 25 Cup here with a DeSmith and a 99. Shout out Jamie Benn. Worked his ass off for 66 minutes.
Speaking of ass, I'm gonna need you to break right now instead.
All right,
so that
go
I
for
can
it.
get this out of the way when the time comes.
All right, go to break. We'll do more Super Chats and talk to Sam next. All right, let's talk about being a diehard. Well, let's just put it this way. It's a great deal whether or not you have the full control of your faculties or not. I do say that this is the time to save money, get all of the access for DLS, and maybe you have to do a John and hightail it to a facility and try to do a Sam and destroy some pipes. And if you're going to do that, you'd like to be able to sit on your phone and read all the articles that are great, amazing writers right here at DLS. Tim Cato had an incredible piece about the Mavericks the other day that just exploded, and we got a whole bunch of subs for that. In fact, I just found out that Jordan Holloman from Fort Worth is our newest diehard, and he picked out the Finnish Mafia shirt for his free shirt. So Jordan, thanks for signing up. That's a great shirt. Don't forget the other Stars playoff shirts as well. Look at those two, the Moose and the Captain. Captain scored tonight. The Moose got his first point of the playoffs, or this playoff anyway. And just wait. It is more and more to come. Great discounts on all the different merchandise that we have. You get a free t-shirt for signing up for your first year at an incredible discount. As I mentioned before, all the access to the writing. You get access to the diehard only Discord lounge. And in that server, there's stuff for each of the different teams, the Cowboys, the Mavericks, the Rangers. Of course, the Stars one is phenomenal. I think there's a huge community that hangs out in the Discord during games, sharing messages, just like we do with our chat during our broadcast. And I'll tell you what, they're fun. They've been meeting up. They've had diehard meetups at the Stars playoff games, starting to get to know each other, having some friends that way, all of that and more. It's wonderful. Think about it. This is the time to become a diehard. So sign up today, and we will definitely make it worth your while. All right, John. Is Sam there yet?
All right, here's Sam. All right, Sam is setting up. Sam, if you can hear me, I'm adding you to the scene because we're having a toilet emergency.
We're having a Nestler.
So you're going. Sam's going here.
Sam's just happy that he's not.
It's giving Owen a haircut. I'll deal with that when I get back.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right,
we're
you guys
over here.
can talk to Sam.
Oh, John's having a toilet emergency.
Sam, first of all, aren't you pleased as we look at the back of your head that...
Sorry, I think I lost my water bottle.
Aren't you pleased that the plumbing emergency is involving somebody else on the show, not you?
Yeah, it's nice. I did have to get back to the bathroom while the plane was not moving for 6 hours today quite a few times. And so I got to know the stewardess pretty well and got a couple free water
I'm
bottles
just thinking,
of
you
water.
want me to go man the controls over there?
I mean, we'll end up with a
Luds,
moose on the screen for sure.
Wait, real quick, Lud's reminded me. People were getting in trouble because they were sneaking their little mini bottles of alcohol out on the plane and drinking them. And they kept announcing over and over again, you're not allowed to do that. And I was like, wait a minute. It is 8 o'clock in the morning, people. What are we doing here?
No. When you're on an airplane,
there is no time.
the time, it's like...
It's any time you want
It's
it
like
to be.
international waters, right?
Yeah,
it's just,
whatever you want it to be. Especially when you're sitting on a plane for 5.5 hours, Sam.
waiting for it to take off. I mean, just keep it discreet, keep it to yourself. Don't let it bleed into your neighbor. But yeah. So Sam, that was a fun game, huh? How was the post-game reaction to that one, and how quiet did Ball Arena get compared to how it started versus how it ended?
Yeah, it was pretty wild because it just didn't feel like that was coming. Like the goal kind of came out of nowhere. With Colorado had some pushes, and then all of a sudden it was bang, game over. And the drop that happened was, I mean, that was one of the loudest arenas I've heard when that Landeskog stuff was going on early on. Seguin and Oettinger, Pete, they all said the same thing. One of the most loudest they've ever heard. And when it dropped, it was one of the quietest I've ever heard. I mean, I could hear someone screaming the F word from the section all the way across the arena just as that goal went in. So that play, a lot of the talking points here after the game were about not just the goal. What a skill play by Tyler. He said he was thinking he was just going to walk into a one-timer as soon as Mason pulled up, and the pass got shoved up into his left skate. He kicks it skate to stick perfectly and chips it up over the glove. Mason, what a play to create that, hold that guy off, curl back and find Tyler, especially after taking the penalty. They said everyone felt so bad because the penalty, it was a penalty, right? But the guy's leaning down. It's kind of one of those plays you're just like, you got to control your stick, but it's also one where the high stick comes at waist height, so it's a tough one for Mason, and he comes back, makes that play. But we go back, Mikko Rantanen using his physicality, his puck protection to battle basically 3 Colorado players, chip it out past, I think it was McCarr, up to Marchment, and then change so that Tyler can jump on and come into the play. Just the way it all developed, the people that were involved in it, just was a storybook ending.
Well, John is back, which is funny because Ben just said in the chat, go take control, Luds.
I was thinking about it.
That's a license for chaos right there, if I've ever heard
that.
That
was excellent.
Well, that's what happened when Hooters lit on fire, was when I went to go document it for history. Luds came over and almost took the podcast off the air.
Yeah, but he also, he killed your feed somehow, and then he got the moose up on the screen.
Yeah, because he started pressing buttons. Yeah, the moose is next to the camera, right there.
Right there. Moose came up.
That explains how that happened.
Yeah, he found the button pretty fast. Hey-o. All right. So, Sam, you mentioned something about questionable penalties. From your perspective tonight, what did you think? Because there were a couple times where I wasn't real thrilled with some calls or non-calls that were out there.
Yeah, you know what? I'm a big believer in just call it evenly across. If you're going to call ticky-tacky stuff, call it evenly across the 60 minutes. If you're going to not call anything, let them play, call it evenly. And that's what bugs me sometimes. And that's what this game, I think, was so frustrating for both the fans in the arena here and then all the people that are screaming at me on Twitter about whatever's going on with which penalty the Stars are taking at the time. It's because they were just a little bit inconsistent. One play that it's a cross check that's kind of soft and it gets called, and then later on there's a much bigger interference play and it's not called. So I just not a fan when it gets really inconsistent because it gets jumbly, and then all of a sudden, like if Colorado had scored, on that one of those power plays, I think they were 0 for 6, which is just crazy. Big thanks to Esa Lindell, who Tyler was asked why the penalty kill was so good, and he said, aggressiveness, trusting each other, and Esa Lindell, which I just thought it was perfect. But just the way it's just kind of inconsistent. It's just how you can end a game and have it be kind of on the backs of the officials. So I wasn't a big fan on back and forth. I think a lot of them were penalties. I will say that. The guys are arguing, Blackwell's arguing the trip that he puts his stick in the skates of the guy, at neutral zone. It's going to get called. You get called for, Rantanen could have gotten called for the kind of low hit on Manson when he's reaching up for the puck. So there's just some that maybe you get called, but maybe don't. I knew the Stars were going to get a power play at some point. You could just feel it. They were looking for it, and they get it on that holding call. And then they get the immediate one right after that to get, Jamie Benn's goal. So it did help the Stars in the end. I don't know what the Stars, how many power plays did they end up having? 4? 3?
Ooh, for Dallas?
No, the other Stars team.
1 for 3 tonight.
For 3, okay. So they got 3. Colorado gets 6. The special teams.
You were trying to kill time as you could read through it and find out how many they were.
Well, yeah. So I'm trying to give him the answer. Let's just trying to make me look bad.
I just said, I don't know.
Go ahead, Sam. Keep going.
All I was just going to say was the flip side on that, away from the power play, the penalty kill. How good is Jake Oettinger on the road? He didn't have to make a million spectacular saves. He had that one sprawling to his right that was great. He called it lucky. I said it wasn't lucky, but he just, when he comes into building, he said it perfectly. He said, look, that was one of the loudest buildings I've ever heard, especially when Landeskog came out, as I was just saying. And he said they love it. And he didn't just say he loved it. He got that face where you could tell he meant it. They freaking love that villain role, 20 guys against the world, coming into a hostile environment and just finding a way to win a game. And that is what this team has just thrived on for years, especially under Pete DeBoer when they've been really good on the road for the most part. And that says a lot because now all of a sudden this team is one win away from going back to Dallas with a 3-1 series lead, which I would not have guessed. I would say, especially at the end of the regular season, and even after game one, maybe even after game two, because they still were having some of those inconsistencies. And that was not a perfect game. Don't get me wrong. That was far from that's nice. That was far from a perfect game.
Your thumb disagrees.
I know, but the point of it is they find a way. And we joked a ton during the regular season, like, look, it was ugly, but they found a way. That wasn't ugly. But now that's all that matters. And I think that's the important thing for fans to understand. And, especially the ones that are jumping on and saying, oh, we're going to go down, we're going to get swept and all these things. It doesn't matter what the team looks like. If they go out and they kill 6 penalties and score a goal in overtime, win the game, they still win the game. That's all you have to do. Best of 7 is a crazy world in the NHL. You can see a series get decided by 1 or 2 things. And the fact that Dallas is up now 2-1, Jared Bednar said it afterwards. He said, there's not a lot of room out there. We have to be better at getting past the Dallas coverage and creating more chances. And that's exactly right. If you look at like I said in pregame, the chances are coming from good spots. Dallas, they give up one or 2 rushes here or a little bit of a miscue, and it leads to a break for McKinnon or for O'Connor had a couple. But overall, you look up the shots and it's like, how do they still only have 15 shots? It's felt like they've had the puck for the last 20 minutes of the game. So major credit to Dallas in the way that they've played against this team and the way that they came out, basically quieted this crowd early on. They got the first, I think, 5 shots of the game. They were out shooting them like 12-4, completely took away all the Landeskog energy and put themselves in a good spot despite going down 1-0.
Hey, Sam, did anybody get a chance to find out where Lian Bichsel got hit?
We didn't ask, but I can tell you by watching it over and over again that I know exactly where he got hit.
And
is not a good spot for males.
So he got hit in the Nuggets?
Yeah.
How high was his voice when he was answering other questions?
He didn't answer. We didn't talk to him. He looked fine. He was walking around.
There was a question of
great
maybe
team win tonight, guys.
There was at least one person in our chat during the watch along that suggested he may have gotten hit in his appendix.
Uh-oh. Look out for that, eh?
Yeah.
I hear those are a doozy. Yeah, I can ask. I'm sure they wouldn't answer. They just say you get hit by a puck. But it looked to me like it was, if not direct contact, it was just above. And he just went off, probably had to shake it off for a bit, came out, went for a little skate. He honestly looked a little shaky for the next few minutes or so, and then was right back into it. And Pete said that he thought him and Petrovic were great.
I'm trying to picture you actually talking to him and looking him right in the area where he actually got hit, probably.
Yeah, that's where my head is.
Gotta look at it.
Especially when he's on skates.
Sam, GM Ben wants to know that if you jump, will you hit your head go through the ceiling?
No, it's not as low as it looks. It's because that's the other floor. So my head does not go through any ceiling. It doesn't matter how low it is.
He was thinking about jumping out on the tarmac, though, this afternoon or this morning, I should
bet
say,
so.
For that flight that was arranged for him.
Yeah, could have used. They did bring us a delicious mini-sized biscottis, so that was a really good breakfast.
Did you get the ginger bar? Was that what it was?
Us over. Yeah, that's what it was.
It was the ginger bar? Yeah.
It wasn't good, and it was like this big.
Yeah.
That was it for 6 hours?
Yeah.
And it did, and then after you're done, you feel like you had a mouthful of dirt in your mouth.
Yeah, it was worse than nothing. I'd be totally honest.
Thank you for flying our airline.
Yeah, exactly. And our tiny little tray tables, apparently.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
That was something else, huh? All right. We are going to get a massive amount of super chats. Do you know if they're going to skate tomorrow or not, Sam?
We have not heard yet. I don't believe so. I think it's just going to be Pete media availability at the hotel or something like that at some point.
All right. Well, Sam, thank you very much for joining us. You can stick around for the super chats if you would like, or if you're ready to go do whatever it is you're going to do in Denver, you're welcome to do that too.
Yeah, I'm going to go finish writing, but I'll be listening. So make it good, boys.
Thanks for everyone who joined on our television platforms. Make sure to like and subscribe here on the pod and check out alldlls.com. All right, we head into overtime. Super chat time. Let's crank these out, Luds, because the longer we go, the longer we stay here tonight.
Bing bong.
Start with Michael Moore with a Madonna 99 Cup here. Luds, I know you said momentum does not carry over, but the Avs have to be thinking, what do we have to do, right? Also, you said no one comes to win one in a split. That's all I can see on the ice.
Yeah, well, here, momentum to me doesn't carry over, but pressure does. And now the pressure is on the Avs. So you can call it what it is, because the last thing they want is to go down and be heading back to Dallas 3-1 down. So the pressure is there. You may see some tight play from those guys throughout the game, but really the momentum is a series of little moments stacked on top of each other. So it's very easy for someone to come out in the first 3 minutes of the game. If it's Dallas, they score a goal, they just pick right up on that coming into the game. If it's the Avs and the crowd, well, all of a sudden it just switched. So Dallas has just got to come out and put that same. It's easier playing the game tomorrow, or in 2 days from now, I should say, for Dallas, in my opinion, than it is for the Avs. They're a little bit tighter, knowing what could happen if they don't come out on the right end of it. Dallas, as much as they want to go home with that third win, if it doesn't happen, like I said, they're still okay.
Right. They're not going to go into game 4 and not try to win, but they're playing with house money now. Let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
I Love Misty 1985 with a Heiskanen and a Jere Lehtinen. No $3.99 for Ben, but he's got the 27 in the playoffs. Oh, number 390. Yes, that's right. One short of 400 in the regular season. 27 playoff goals, not too shabby either.
Bing bong.
Tommy Carlson with a Brendan Smith the year after the Cup. Dad duties. We got to get this over with. Seguin. Yes. Well, they're on the road. So actually, funny line this morning, Luds. They were talking to Matt Duchene, and he said, actually, I really like going on the road in the playoffs. And
it's easier when you got
said,
kids.
You get your own room. You get to
service?
get enough sleep. I mean, he said the things out loud. He has said all year he's got a young family. He's got lots of kids at home, and he's saying, boy, you go on the road, you might feel a little guilty, but you get some rest.
That's why when the year's over, you don't, sometimes you don't get a lot of free time, because now it's
your turn.
Your turn. It's their turn.
That's right.
It's their turn.
It's your turn to stay at home.
Yeah.
And Michael Moore with a DeSmith and 99 Cup here. Does this win keep Miro away? We talked about earlier. I think probably for this next game, yes.
Yeah.
Next.
Bing bong.
We'll go with Tanner Bankston with a Heiskanen 99. What a finish. Dad power is real. What a goal to finish. Let's keep the momentum going to Saturday.
Bing bong.
Ardell with a Ben and Seguin. Avs fans' tears are flowing. There is no balm in Denver tonight. How about the incredible defense the Stars are playing right now? Is Luds impressed?
Yes, I said we could see it in game 1. They changed a little bit, and you'll look at their coverage in the zone when they get set up, and they've got 5 guys over. They're taking care of the right areas of the ice in front of Jake, and it makes it a little easier.
Bing bong.
Stars 25 Cup here with a hat trick. John's just going to wave at you this time. How about Stars holding Avs to 5 shots on goal in the first? I feel like I saw a dodo bird.
Yeah, that's one way to take that the momentum away from being at home and Landeskog and all the things that they had going for them.
The follow-up on that is Bednar will not be happy with their first period. They're going to have a real push to be better for that start on Saturday.
Yeah, but you know what? With the guys that we're talking about that are there, he probably doesn't have to worry too much about it. He'll do what he's supposed to do, but he knows that he's got the right kind of guys in that locker room, I think, that should be able to get it where he wants it to be.
Well, I'm stifling a yawn, so it must be after 1 a.m.
Bing bong.
Let's keep on rolling. Tommy Carlson, hey, he gets a hat wave with a Brendan Smith 99 Cup here. Can we talk about how stacked the Central is?
Yeah. You know what? And everybody says that the Stanley Cup winner probably is going to come out of this side, I should say the West. But man, it's a hard road. Whether you got, let's just say we play the game and Dallas wins this, and they're probably going to get Winnipeg, and then the winner of that's probably going to get Vegas, and so it's not easy. And it couldn't be. You know what? It could be LA too. So the way they're playing, who knows?
I think Vegas, LA.
Yeah, that's gonna be another. big
I'm
one.
not. Look, listen, Minnesota won a game, so it's 1-1.
No,
So
I don't
know. Kaprizov is pretty special, but yeah, you're right. Vegas is pretty good, but
Bing bang.
right now it looks like LA's. I mean, they have to go to Edmonton, but it looks like they're in really good shape. Stars 25 Cup year with another Heiskanen 99. Is Petro playing out of his mind, or is this his everyday form? Why pay Dumba $3.75 million a year when you have Petro at $775K a year?
Yeah, well, that's a great question, and there's nothing to do about it right now. Petro's just playing within himself. Like I said, the last time we saw him in the playoffs, I was kind of curious why he wasn't here at the start of the year. So
I thought it was a chance after his playoff run that he might make the team out of camp. And then it was very clear that because of the signings of Dumba and Nichushkin and Miro on the right, that they were trying Miro on the left a little bit with Nils in the lineup. And that was okay for a bit too. But like you could just see contractually, Luds, there was no room for Petrovic. Maybe they'll change next year. But he's in his 30s. So maybe not.
Bing
Next.
bang.
Jay guys with a Lundqvist and an Oettinger. Every watch party and game I've attended this year, we've won. So, send me the donations to make it to next game. Down by the glass, please. Beggars and choosers.
Bing bang.
I love Misty 1985 with a Heiskanen and a Marchment. Oops, I derped. That was Jamie's 28th playoff goal. Everybody derps every now and then.
Bing bang.
Dustin Priest with a Madonna and an Oettinger. Boy, Jake stood on his head tonight. Need to be grindy in the playoffs. I can't imagine any team wanting to play the Stars. Die hard for life. Let's, just for your sake, or for everybody's sake, Jake stopped 27 of 28 tonight in Denver. That's a save percentage, I think, of .968, if I did the math in my head, which is a little late. But either way, when you're 95 plus in save percentage on the road in a playoff game, very good.
And the biggest thing is, I think it's his confidence. I think he's starting to feel it. And no better time than to feel it than now versus in game 75 or 76.
And honestly, Blackwood was good too. He stopped 26 of 28, so he only let in one more. On either of those goals, the tip in, I don't think there's any. It changed directions. He's leaning one way, goes the other. Is there anything on the Seguin goal that you would criticize Blackwood for?
No, and the only look I got, I just wonder if he makes himself too small.
Yeah, and he's a big
because
goalie.
He's a big goalie, and and again, it's hard to tell, how much room from where we're sitting here, how much room was above his shoulder. So,
Yep.
But sometimes when you can see daylight from that, you're kind of wondering why a guy that's 6'5", 6'6", whatever he is kind of hunched over. Same thing I thought on the Blackwell overtime goal.
Yeah.
I just thought that he was kind of crunched down a little bit and didn't make himself big.
Bing bang.
Stars 25 Cup year with a Heiskanen 99. It's crazy the Stars are putting these games together with no production from Duchesne and Wyatt. Duchesne and Wyatt both seem to be on the struggle bus.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like it's been a long year for him. I can understand it more from Duchesne's side than Wyatt.
And the funny thing is, going into the playoffs, I thought both were playing really well.
They were, and I don't know. It's hard to. It just looks like from Wyatt's standpoint, he doesn't have that extra gear for some reason, and that can be defending too. I mean, if they're playing tight enough, it's hard to find the space there. But we've seen him dart in and out and get to the net and kind of water bucket up the ice. And again, for Duchesne, it's another guy. It's the playoffs, and he played for this team. He knows some of these guys, and they know how crafty he is.
Let's go to the next one.
Bing bang.
Stars 25 Cup year with a Heiskanen 99. Watching Mikko join the pile after the game-winning goal makes me tear up. Biggest smile on his face. He's going to be a star. He is a star.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's always like that. Even if it's a regular season game, you want to be able to go back, and you're with a different team. You want to go back into that building. You want to make sure you come out with a win. But it's even more special when it's something like this.
Go to the next one.
Bing bang.
Boy, we're flying on him now. Jordan, talk hockey with me with a Heiskanen 99. Missed most of the show because I was so excited that I ran through a wall and had to call a contractor. Just needed to pop in and say, go Stars.
I wonder if that's legit. Probably not.
I think it is.
I ran through a wall.
I think she probably crashed into her drywall and maybe made a little depression, maybe a
Kool-Aid Man situation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bing bong.
Stars 25 Cup here with a Heiskanen 99. Notice both OT game-winning goal are nearly identical. Blackwood is frozen in the butterfly and is beat glove side above the pad. Jake could never. He can, but and these are a little different because one is sort of pouncing on a rolling puck.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was below the glove. I thought Blackwood roofed it.
I did
he?
too.
Yeah. But look, either way, it did look as though maybe Blackwood on the Marchment pass to Seguin skates started to track that a little too far, and that's why he left the post a little bit. But, I mean, that's a great shot, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bing bong.
Ryan Chambers with a Lundqvist and a Seguin. Just saying, I told everyone so. My hope meter after game one went from 15% to 90% after game one. Why? Because the Stars were in that. They were better in that game than the 5-1 score would suggest.
Bing bong.
Tanner Bankston with a DeSmith 99. Segi for comeback player of the year.
What is that? What is that award?
Well, it's not exactly
What's the Masterton?
The Masterton is sort of that. It's more like perseverance and
one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good one.
Tyler's done it a couple times.
He wasn't
The perseverance part I'm talking about.
Yeah, oh, for sure. But he won't get it this year because he's not the nominee for Dallas. So, next one.
Bing bong.
Matthew Presley with a Heiskanen 99. Good game, solid and cagey, pushed when needed. 5-on-5 shots on goal tonight. Stars 21, Avs 19. It's better than the other way around.
I'm glad he's keeping track.
Are you going to make me get 21 screenshots for next show, Luds, of all of those?
No, they're all good shots.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
Bing bong.
Tanner with a Heiskanen 99. You know what? I'll take the hat trick. Give credit to you guys. Love all the coverage, no matter win or loss. Loving the content. Boy, John,
I've evolved to not even taking
it's
the hat.
getting
He
late.
is tired, isn't he?
He is.
Bing bong.
Throw it. Max Piebgruss. That's an interesting one. Heiskanen 99. Essa the Suppressa. 0 for 6. Get wrecked, Nate.
Bing bong.
Last one. I'll throw it for this one.
Tommy Carlson. Hold on. What does it say? Same with Tanner. Oh, okay. Tanner was going to still want John to test his aim.
I don't know where I'm putting this thing, but
Landed in the bucket.
Yeah, put it right here.
A little short, but it was online at least.
it always dies.
All right. We have a show tomorrow.
What?
I know. It wasn't, well, you didn't get it.
Everybody gets the day off but us.
Yep. No, we don't. We got the day off Friday.
John's not even here tomorrow.
Yes, I am.
Well, you're not doing our show, are you?
That's right. Tanner will be producing. John's on the NFL Draft Cowboys show. Big Cowboys show. So check that out at DLS tomorrow for the first round of the NFL Draft. We will be here at 2 o'clock. It'll be me and Luds, Sam out in Denver. No Sean tomorrow. Sean's doing U18 work for one of his other employers. But we will have Tanner producing. Luds, I think we should break down this game and look ahead a little bit. Don't you think? Talk about a little bit of game 3.
Nothing's going to change.
Yeah, but you're going to watch it again and you'll see some things.
No, I'm not. I memorized
Tomorrow
the whole
morning?
thing.
No chance.
Well, probably.
You're definitely going to.
Probably
What else are you going to do at 4:30 in the morning? It's only like 3 hours from now.
You're right.
Yeah, there
You're
you go. For Luds, for Sam in Denver, for John, who definitely needs to get out of here and maybe find the bathroom again, I'm Owen. Thanks for joining us tonight. Go Stars. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock for our DLS podcast.
He was the lucky shamrock.
It was the
On a leaf or
3-leaf
something like that.
clover.
That was it.
Tomahawk City.
We all silly like the mayor.